Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. It's a new week, and we are very, very happy to welcome you to our show titled Speak of Africa. The interesting part this week, I was reading some comments. Some Caucasians were asking, is Africa a country? Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent with many countries. But our ambition eventually is to make Africa one country. One country, one people, one destiny. But as of now, the prejudice, the people think that Africa is a country, Africans, those people. Sure, we are one people. But eventually, we're going to become one country. Right now, most people who don't know Africa just assume that Africa is a country because they just look at it like a bunch of black people. That's it. They don't even know that you have over 55 countries in Africa. Countries that were created by the colonial master. Today, we're going to share news with you the way a big-time colonial master is visiting 3 countries in Africa. And these countries are Benin, Guinea-Bissau, and La République du Cameroon. 2 of the countries, Cameroon and Benin, are former French colonies. But Guinea-Bissau used to be a Portuguese colony. So why is Emmanuel Macron, Bébé Macron, going to Guinea-Bissau? Guinea-Bissau is not really a very rich country. I think the best product that they produce is, I think they call them nuts. I've had some business people who asked me to help them to create businesses because they wanted to go and do trading in nuts in Guinea-Bissau. But it's not even a really stable country. It's a country with a very doubtful political system. There are no freedoms. When Emmanuel Macron is going to a country that France did not colonize, what is he trying to do? He's just trying to put his imprint in a bigger area in Africa. It's the same thing like we've been telling you. Nigeria was not a French colony, but the French have been able to capture Nigeria and put it within the orbit of the French colonial system. So you even think France colonized Nigeria. Emmanuel Macron, for example, actually lived in Nigeria. He worked for the French embassy. So he knows Nigeria very well. But this time, he's chosen 3 African countries: La République du Cameroon, Benin, and Guinea-Bissau. So he's on a 3-nation tour of Africa. What is the tour about? Mr. Evil has come to Africa. That's the way I can put it to my audience. Emmanuel Macron is the face of evil. France is evil. Because when you look at the colonial past, the French colonial past is dirty. It's just like a dairy pot. Very dirty. Filthy. It's a shithole. You can't even believe it. It's not nice. Whenever you think of French colonialism in Africa, the experience is terrible. You think that Bébé Macron is going to break with the past. No, he's the same person. He's a wolf in sheep clothing. Some people may look at him, he has a baby face, he looks nice, he looks young, but there's no difference. He's the same bad guy, the same devil. So it's like Mr. Evil has come face to face in Africa. Some of you may be hearing about Satan. You may think that Satan exists only in the Bible. But Satan has a physical incarnation. He's appearing now in Africa. He's appearing in La République du Cameroon. He's appearing in Benin. And he's appearing in Guinea-Bissau. And why do they say this? Because he symbolizes evil. How can you say a guy wants to make sure that the people of Africa should not have any freedoms? Economically, he doesn't want them to have a means of livelihood because he steals their means of livelihood. Socially, he controls the way they think. So, in essence, Franc-Afrique makes slaves of Africans. That's basically the message we have for the show of today. And before we continue with the show of today, we want to say special thank you to all our viewers. If you are viewing the show for the first time today, please, we want you to subscribe. When you subscribe, you make sure that you do not miss on any of the shows that we upload on YouTube, on other social media channels. Okay? We also want to thank our subscribers. The numbers have been going up. We've seen the way you are really sharing the show with your friends, and we'll continue to ask you to share the show with your friends. When you do this, it helps us a lot. We also want to give special thanks to some of you who continue sending videos to us, sending pictures to us, so that we know whatever is happening. We are very far in the United States of America, but we are just like a heartbeat away from Africa. Thanks to you. Every day you are sharing information with us. If it's not on WhatsApp, you're sharing it by email. So we thank you very, very much. We're not going to reveal your identity because we don't want you to be targeted. But we thank you very much for sharing a lot of information with us. Because without you, we'll not really have content for producing this show. We don't really have stringers who are paid to give us information. So a lot of the people who share information with us are volunteers. So we thank all these volunteers, citizen journalists, for doing a very good job supplying us the information we share with you on this show every week. So without further ado, let us thank them very, very much. Finally, our thanks also go to the business and entrepreneurs who have been helping us to produce this show. We start with Bitech 97, which is a computer training institute. We've been telling you that in the new world, if African wants to compete, if they do not want to remain slaves, then they have to learn how to use technology. They have to learn information technology. Bitech 97 provides such a service. Then, of course, we also want to thank Dynamic Mental Health. They are also a provider of psychiatric assistance to people who are having mental problems. So if you have a family member who needs help, contact Dynamic Mental Health. We have one of their videos we're going to share with you. We're telling you, use their services because these are the people patronizing our show. In addition, you also have a new clinic that is coming up. In fact, there are so many clinics that are coming up. We're not going to take much time to tell you about them, but by the end of the month, we're going to be sharing a lot of this stuff with you. In addition, we have a lot of information on training. We're going to be training people on different things. Insurance, medical billing, taxes, and so many other areas. So we're going to come up with a program to just help train people who want to acquire skills so that they can make a little bit extra money. Especially if you're in the United States of America, these programs are for you because we really want to help you so that you can leverage the system and make a little bit more money for yourself and your family. That's what this show is about. This show is not just to give you news. This show is intended to help you improve your standard of living. If you can make a little bit more money, that's good for us. There's a lot of information. Africans like to hide information. We do not like to hide information on this show, which is why we created this show, because we want to share information. We want you to get information that can impact your life on a daily basis. And that's what we're doing. Without further ado, let's go straight into our new segment. Things are really tough in Africa this week, and the war in Ukraine has made things difficult. A lot of countries in Africa depend on wheat, grain from Russia, and wheat from Ukraine. Because Russia has been stealing the wheat from Ukraine, because Russia has been blocking the ports so that Ukraine cannot ship their grain, there is hunger in Africa. First, Macky Sall went to Russia to beg Vladimir Putin to allow grain to come to Africa. We laughed, but this time Turkey used its power. Russia can allow grain to leave the ports of Ukraine to other parts of the world. So this is a salutary effort, and we think it's going to help reduce the level of hunger that is going on in the world, but it shows you the level of desperation. So many countries in Africa depend on Ukraine and Russia for food. Isn't this a shame? Africa has so much land. Why can we not produce food in abundance? America produces food in abundance because they've been able to make that change from an agrarian economy to a mechanized economy, then to an information economy. But in Africa, we've not even taken off from the first stage of production, which is the agrarian economy, where we depend on agriculture. People still have small farms. They don't produce a lot. Then there's urbanization. People leave the rural areas and move to the cities. Then they work in the city. They are not really focusing on farming, which is probably the most important thing we need to emphasize. Africans need to emphasize agriculture. Produce your own food. If you cannot feed yourself, then you cannot be a free person. Look at the way this crisis has exposed Africans. You don't have enough gas. You say you produce oil. Then you have fuel shortage. Is that not a disgrace? You say you produce oil. Then you don't have tar, asphalt to tar your roads. Is that not a disgrace? So when we look at some of this stuff, we really feel sorry for ourselves as Africans. Look at Ambazonia. Well, in Ambazonia, today it's more like a lockdown. There's not much really happening. The people are mourning their hero, the Field Marshal of Ambazonia, Oliver Lekieka. Last week we told you his Judas Iscariot's blacklegs planned to kill him, and they killed him and handed over his corpse to La République du Cameroon B soldiers. But this week we saw some blacklegs who wrote and signed their names on a letter saying that they are happy Field Marshal is gone. Now they will have room now to do whatever they want in Lebialem. Schools will resume. La République will come back and continue life as usual, keep the people in slavery. Then you have the other people on the other side. They are not happy with the death of Field Marshal of Ambazonia. They are vowing to revenge. Then they've just announced a national lockdown in protest. So we just want to leave things there and move to La République du Cameroon, because that's where the major story of the week is. The visit of Emmanuel Macron to Yaoundé. Me voici à Yaoundé. That's what Emmanuel Macron is saying. A lot of people are just stunned to see Mr. Evil come to Yaoundé. Why is he in Yaoundé? You may ask. Emmanuel Macron is coming to Yaoundé not because he loves Yaoundé. It's not because he loves the people in La République du Cameroon. He is in Yaoundé because he wants to serve French interests. So if you don't understand, let me tell you. Emmanuel Macron is in Yaoundé to take care of French interests. And French interests run the gamut. These interests may be economic, political, and social. On the economic front, the mission of Macron is to make sure that Cameroon remains a French plantation. If you understand what a plantation is, it's just like a farm. All the produce from this farm have to go to France, without exception. France decide what they don't want. They have the right of first refusal. All the soil in Africa, especially the soil in Ambazonia and the soil in La République du Cameroon, it belongs to Emmanuel Macron. Even though he's a French person, but he has forced himself by using brute force and savagery to hold Africans in check. When you look at the French history in La République du Cameroon, it's very, very bloody. They made sure that Cameroon did not really obtain real independence. The party that was supposed to take Cameroon to independence was aborted by the machinations of the French, and that party was UPC. We've talked about this history so many times, if you really want to know. In 1955, I think the UPC was banned as a party, and eventually they killed Yobe, who was the leader, who wanted a pan-Cameroon country. He wanted one Cameroon, but now we're going to have the divided states of Cameroon because of a devil such as Emmanuel Macron. Everything doesn't just begin with Emmanuel Macron, it really begins with Charles de Gaulle, who really laid the framework for what they call Franc-Afrique. Franc-Afrique simply means a system in which France dominates African countries economically, socially, and politically. Economically, France has to steal all the resources in Africa, especially in La République du Cameroon. Politically, France has to stage and put puppet leaders who would do the bidding of France in La République du Cameroon. So it is with Mr. Paul Biya, so it was with Mr. Babatura Amadou Ahidjo. So since then, Cameroon has only had 2 presidents, and all of them have been chosen by France. So now Mr. Biya is really old, so it looks like France is already calculating who they're going to use to replace Mr. Biya. Is it going to be Frank Biya, the son of Mr. Biya? Who? Those are some of the dynamics France is working out in secret. He has come to have a tete-a-tete with Mr. Biya to make sure that there is peaceful transition. That's really the mission of Emmanuel Macron in La République du Cameroon. He's not there because he cares about Cameroonians. No, don't be deceived. He's there to take care of French interests. I'm not blaming him. I'm simply telling Cameroonians that you guys are stupid for not thinking about your own interests, for allowing a foreigner to come to your country and dictate his ways upon you. As Africans, you are just being dumb. And that's why we are talking about this on this show. The visit of Emmanuel Macron, socially, he wants to control the way Cameroonians think. So he gathers his people. He's going to meet at the French embassy, then tell his people that he's there for them. He came to take care of them. When are Cameroonians going to learn to start taking care of themselves and not take care of the French? That's a question a lot of inquiring minds want to know. Okay? You look at the newspapers. We're going to share a lot of newspapers in La République this week. Much of what the newspapers are talking about is the visit of Emmanuel Macron to Yaoundé. The visit is pregnant with meaning because a French president never travels to an African country for no good reason. They always travel with a mission of protecting the interests of France. And these interests are economic, political, and social. Okay? So this is what you need to get in your head. Emmanuel Macron is there to protect the economic interests, the social interests, and the political interests of France. We're not blaming him. We're blaming Africans who allow themselves, who are gullible. They allow themselves to be manipulated by the French time after time, time after time. When are we going to learn? When are we going to learn? It's too late already. Are we going to learn?
Hey, yo, Shay, I thought you was going to take me to this place so I could get my taxes done. You know I'm trying to buy a new house. What's up?
Let's get it on. If you searching for a house, call up my man Prince Ojong, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy Shake. When I say his services are the best in the states, word is born. He even take care of your tax forms, fat refunds. So come get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing, no waiting. This man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131.
Why are you thinking we'll move to the Central African Republic? This is another French colony. This week, there's not really a lot that is eventful, but for a lot of floods. The army is talking about vanquishing the opposition, the rebel groups, but we don't think that's really significant. There has been a whole lot of floods in the Central African Republic, and we really feel sorry for the people. We love the people of the Central African Republic. They are our brothers and sisters. We love them. So next, we'll move to Congo DRC. Congo DRC is a country we report on a lot on this show because it's a big country in Africa, and it's probably the richest country in Africa. But since the overthrow of Patrice Emery Lumumba, Congo has not known peace. It's like his ghost is tormenting this country. His ghost is tormenting the country because the country will never know peace until they rehabilitate Patrice Emery Lumumba. So far, nobody really cares about the dream of Patrice Lumumba, They care about stealing the resources in that country. The M23, which is a Rwandan-backed militia, is killing a lot of people. This week, we understand the M23 killed over 29 people in Congo DRC, in the east of Congo DRC. Okay? They kill a lot of people. You think that things will come to normal. So this week, the people were protesting also because they were just fed up. The UN is right there, so many of them, 1,500 of them. How come M23 is so powerful enough to continue staging attacks? It's because most of the leaders do not listen to us. They don't listen to the advice we give. They keep repeating the same mistakes. Sit down at the table, sit down with the guys of the M23 and come up with a form of rapprochement. This will stop the bloodshed. The people will not be dying. So the people are protesting because the UN is ineffective. For so many years, the UN has not been able to keep the M23 at bay. The M23 continues targeting the people, killing the people, and this is very sad. Next, we'll move to Nigeria. When we look at Nigeria, I think the main issue that concerns us is insecurity. 3 of you sent us a video and some pictures of a chieftaincy in Zamfara State. What happens? Well, what is newsworthy about Zamfara State is that they've chosen a former bandit who became a peacemaker as a chief. Can you believe this? A criminal is chosen to become the chief for the people. And there is a lot of evidence. In fact, we'll follow this story because when you guys talk to us about this story, we decided to follow it very closely. There are so many people who were able to identify the chief as a criminal, as a bandit. But because they said, okay, he participated in peace efforts, they have to make him a chief in Zamfara State. So we did not really dignify this because when you look at what the bandits are doing in Nigeria, you even look at even the example of the attack on the train in Kaduna. Some of you sent us pictures showing the way most of these jihadis were flogging victims who were captured. They are flogging them. In fact, they separated the males from the female and they started flogging them with canes that they made. They were flogging them just like animals. Then as they're doing this, one of the ladies was screaming, "Where's Buhari?" Well, Buhari is not God. Buhari is not there. Buhari doesn't even care. They will kill you, as the terrorists were saying. They're going to kill you, and they even want to kill Buhari too. That's what they were saying. They want to kill Muhammadu Buhari, their president. They want to kill him. He's their brother from the north, a Muslim. But they want to kill him because they feel he's useless. So these are some of the issues that are really bothering us. Then we got some stories that the military was able to recover 2 of the Chibok girls who were abducted more than 8 years ago. So at least for the families of those girls, we think that's good news. But Mr. Buhari is not really doing anything to deal with this crisis of insecurity. So we don't really know what's going to happen. Nigeria has a lot of military guys, but it looks like what is lacking is the leadership. The leadership does not know how to conceptualize a solution. How can you solve this problem? We said it before, that if the Nigerian leadership can talk to us, we'll be able to come up with a common sense approach to solving this problem. Militarization is not going to work. Even if you're a father, if you have a stick, balance it with a carrot. So don't only have a stick, also carry a carrot. Sometimes use that carrot. Don't just say, I must only use a stick. And that's why Buhari is failing and failing woefully, because he believes excessively in militarization, which is not working. So that's sad. Next, we take you to South Africa. Cyril Ramaphosa has been going through an investigation. We told you before, his predecessor was caught in a scandal, the Bell Pottinger scandal, and he resigned as a result. Will Cyril Ramaphosa going to resign from the presidency of South Africa? It doesn't look like it. We told you many weeks ago that an issue was leaked, money was stolen, foreign currency was stolen from his farm, Fala Fala. And Mr. President was trying to hide the facts of this case, but because of pressure from the public, he was forced to tell the truth. Now, the Truth Commission is investigating the case, and they want him to tell the truth, what he knows about this matter. Some people are even saying that it may be smarter for Cyril Ramaphosa to resign while this case is going on, the same way that Jacob Zuma resigned. Maybe he should resign and make Mr. Julius Malema the president for the time being, because at least he has an agenda to help black people. So we've come to the end of our show, but we're telling you that we can train you, because that's what we can do to solve a lot of the problems we're complaining about today. Instead of just complaining about problems, we want to be looking at solutions. Okay? We introduce the problem, then the outro has to be solutions to these problems. So training is one of the ways we think we can make a change, that we can make a difference. When you look at the man in the mirror, how can we make him improve his life? We have to train him. So we're going to be offering a lot of opportunities for you to train yourself. Medical billing, insurance, real estate, taxes, and many other areas. So if you're interested, stay tuned. By the end of the month, we're going to be introducing these new programs. So once again, we thank you very much for watching our show. May God bless you. Bye-bye.
Medical practice software is too old. Indeed, all the programs are built on MUMPS, technology of the 1950s, and the programs cost too much money. Epic and Cerner cost billions of dollars. Meditech costs thousands of dollars too. In fact, that's why we created AlexiaHTC.com, a new and free EMR/EHR for doctors. AlexiaHTC.com is built for HIPAA. Yes, magical one-screen technology, ease of use, quick charting, amazing e-prescribing, tight labs integration, multi-office difference, because we believe doctors and patients need a break today. Be the first to test drive AlexiaHTC.com. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. Act now. Call 240-350-1131. Alexia Care Corporation at AlexiaHTC.com. Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.